Hi there, my name is Mr. Blackbear, and I'm in my finest suit. But problem is, it's very boring. And so, I'm trying to look for things to add on to this boring old black coat. I mean, I know texture-wise it's very interesting, but I need something a little bit with a bit more pizzazz. So I was looking online and found one of these little thingamajigs, and I was like, I can make that. And so I just want to show you how I went about making it. And now you can make one of these little things. I'm sure you've seen these things around, as I already showed you. They're basically little cards with floral decorations. And what would you use these for? Well, with a fancy suit like this, either you would have a coat pocket and you could put your handkerchief in there, or I don't know, some sort of other accessory. But you can also put one of these little cards in here, if I can get it in. As you can see, I didn't really do a great job of measuring, but at the same time, voila, makes the suit a little bit more interesting. So here is the process. Here's how I went about making it. Take a look while I sit on one of these. So at my local Hobby Lobby, there was these thin planks of wood. I opted for a plank of wood that was about 3 inches wide. With this wood in hand, I walked over to the huge selection of ribbon and lace. Now, I'm a basic witch, so of course I went with black, but of course this is definitely an area you can experiment with multiple different colors and many different textures. It was off to the floral section to pick up a few victims of circumstance, flowers, and there were a lot to choose from. And for pieces of plastic, this DIY can get a little pricey, so choose wisely and choose the few best for the job. And if you're unsure which ones to choose, then just show up in your suit and start mixing and matching right on the spot. Back at the lab, I took one of my coats that actually had a coat pocket and used this as my base. Fortunately, no need to cut the width of this one. I happened to get the right size. Now, future me here telling you that it doesn't need to be pocket deep, just leave some room for the flower stuff and then leave some room to be able to be tucked in the pocket. But if you're following along to a T, I measured about 3 inches and 3/4, and we'll be working with about 1 inch and 3/4. Future me here again. Not only do you want to smooth out the cuts you make, probably smooth out the corners as well to make it easier to slide in the pocket. And now we have a lot of flowers and a little bit of wood, so we gotta make each one count. But stick around, I got a cheap alternative you can do. We should be left with 3 cards with some hot glue and some ribbon. We'll make these all pretty. So while we wait for the hot glue to heat up, once we plucked out all the flower heads, what are you gonna do with all this foliage? I'll tell you what. Using my good pal here, Rust-Oleum, in black, if you want to be economically responsible, you can always paint these spare parts any way you need them. Obviously, of course, for me, they gotta all be black. As for where to start with the ribbon, I hot glued one end down and then started to wrap it around, trying to make some interesting patterns, although I'm not really skilled enough to do that, so they all kind of end up looking the same. Now I ran out of ribbon, so this is part of that cheap alternative I was talking about. Although ribbon is cheaper than duct tape, I more mean just improvisation, Now we got 3 beautifully covered planks. However, we got 4 roses. So if you want to go even cheaper, I got you. Cardboard. Now get you some cardboard, cut it down to size, and start wrapping it the exact same way as the others. So there's no reason you should be able not to do this with me. Last but not least, we start assigning flowers to each card. Doing that, we got hot glue things down and figure out how we're gonna decorate it even further. Now, taking the foliage that we did or did not paint before and already picked out a few that I really wanted to use with all these textures and all these colors and using every single part, we're gonna push this project even further. If I was smarter, I would have done the leaves first, but that was an afterthought. Most of this is literally on the spot. So by the end of the project, we should have 4 different flowers we can mix and match with. And there's only one thing left to do, is to see how we even look at this thing. Now, this project was super fun, very easy to make. And hell, I wouldn't have made 4 if I didn't have fun with it. And I would love to see what you guys make with this, because honestly, you can make it so personalized. It could just be made out of trash or put a safety pin on it. It'd be fun. And there you have it. That's how I went about making one of these little things. It kind of started out as a conversation between me and a friend online, talking about suit accessories. And since this is the fancy suit, I got curious and I wanted to look up some suit accessories for myself. And I saw one of these and I wanted to make one because they look kind of easy to make. And they were. I gave you a cheap alternative too, with a bit of cardboard and duct tape. So if you have some old houseplants, plastic ones you're looking to throw away, don't. Got some cardboard you're looking to throw away, don't throw that just out yet, because again, these aren't hard to make. They're pretty easy, and they bring a little life to a boring suit like this, because I am a very, very boring styled man. Hard to believe, I know, but yeah, these are easy to make, and I had fun. Honestly, it was kind of, it was kind of a spur of the moment kind of thing, and I made so many of them that they kind of look a little samey, but that's because, again, I was kind of just using whatever I had, and yeah, I mean, unless you saw the whole entire video all the way through, you can't really tell which one's the cardboard one, and you can definitely tell which one's duct tape. So have fun, and hell, share a few videos of yours of you making them. These are fun to make. They're fast, easy, and lavish, and that's what we want to make. Dark things come true. So have fun, and I'll see you next time. Good night.